Hello students, good morning and welcome to today's class. So what are we going to do today? This is Maths 2 and we will be doing question paper solving. We will be looking at how to do some problems on question 1A. There will be lot of MCQ type questions. Just a minute. Yes. And my name is Madhuri Mangle from LK Wagji MPS Secondary School, Matunga. And we are going to do interactive live class as we did in the last one. So I guess you all are ready. Yes. So let us look at the directions once and then we will begin. So there are total 22 questions today. And yes, those are the instructions. So you need to go to Google, that is, go to any web browser and type in joinmyquiz.com. You have to type in joinmyquiz.com. It's not working, just a minute. Yes, you need to type in joinmyquiz.com and then select this link for students. When you select this link, you will be directed to the quizzes link and it will ask for the code. So you need to enter the code here, and this is the code 272109. That's the code 272109. That's the code. And once you click on join the game, it will ask for a name. A kind request, please enter your name, full name, at least your name with your school name. School name is very important. That is how we can track you and give you certificates, right? So your name with your school name, very important. And then click on start and you will be here waiting for other participants to join. Okay, so you have this code with you, and let's get started. Let's see how many of you have joined. Quickly start joining and we will begin the quiz. Yes, I see 20, 40, 21 of you have already joined. Yes, I see 27 of you have, 25 of you have joined. Others, quickly, please join in fast. Okay, and there you see that is the first question. You can see that is the first question. Go ahead and try out the first question. The question is fill in the blanks. The point 0 comma minus 7 lies on dash. Where does it lie? Okay, so if I wish to give you the hints, then just remember this, that yes, so the hint is that any point which is of the form 0 comma a format, this means x is 0 and y is some value. That means the point will lie on this axis, right? So I think that hint is enough. So whichever is the point will lie on that axis, right? Let us quickly end the quiz and let's check how many of you got it right. This was a very basic question on coordinate geometry. Okay, so let us see how many of you got it right. Wonderful, 16 of you got it right. Please don't give random answers. Please don't give random guesswork. Please don't do that. Okay, let us look at second question. So everybody on the Zoom screen, please join the Zoom screen. And that is the second question. The point at which the two coordinate axes meet is called dash. The point at which both the coordinate axes meet is called dash. Yes, what is that point called as? Okay, so suppose this is x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, so what is this point called as? The central point is called as what? Okay, quickly try to answer this. So on the quiz screen you should be able to see the next question, and you have 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds. Give it a try. Quickly, you have 30 seconds. The point at which both the coordinates meet is called dash. of you got it right. The point where both the axes meet, it is called as the origin, right students? It is called as origin. And what are the coordinates of origin? It's 0 comma 0. Okay, so I think you people are not prepared with this quiz, with this chapter, is it? So let us move back to the board and just check. I will give you some basic info. So this is the vertical axis, which is called as the y-axis. This is the horizontal, which is called as the x-axis. Okay, students, and the center where both these points meet, this is called as the origin. What is this called as? It is the origin. And what are the coordinates of origin? Coordinates of origin is 0 comma 0. Okay, the coordinates are 0 comma 0. Fine. Now one more thing, the coordinates are always written in the form x comma y. Okay, it is written in the form x comma y, where x is called as the abscissa. Okay, x is called as the abscissa and y is called as ordinate. Okay, this is the very basic information. Like x is called as the abscissa. You'll be having few questions on these concepts. Okay, so just remember, x is the abscissa, y is the ordinate. And then when we say the quadrants, which are the quadrants, students? Yes, so this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, third, and that's the fourth quadrant, right? In the first quadrant, both the signs are positive. In the second, x is negative, y is positive. In third, both are negative. And in fourth, the x is positive whereas the y is negative. Fine, these are the very basic things you should know. Fine, let us look at next question. Question number 3. The point whose ordinate is 4 and which lies on y-axis. Just now we saw the meaning of ordinate. What is the meaning of ordinate, students? It's y. Okay, so the point whose ordinate is 4 and which lies on y-axis. So ordinate is 4 means y is equals to 4, right? And this will help us to rule out few options. Y is 4, so here you can see x is 4, y is 0, so this gets crossed out. This is not the answer, correct? And which lies on y-axis. Now all the points that lie on y-axis, all the points that lie on y-axis, they are of the form 0 comma a. That means for any point which is lying on y-axis, the x has to be 0. The x has to be 0. So what will be that point? We know the y has to be 4, and when it lies on the y-axis, the x has to be 0. So what will be the point? And there you go. The question is there on the quiz. So go ahead and try this out on the quiz. Everyone, quickly. Yes, you have 20 seconds left. Quickly, this is a time bound question. And the timer is running. For those who have not joined, you can see the code on top. It's 272109. Okay, and let's see the results. So it says, very good, few of you. I see new names today, and 45 of you have got it right. Very good. For those who are still getting it wrong, please concentrate when I am explaining. Okay, you will be able to get it right. So let us move to the board. Go back to the Zoom screen. Everyone, go back to the Zoom screen. You can see ordinate is 4. That means y is 4, and it lies on the y-axis. That means the x is 0. So the correct answer is 0 comma 4. Okay, let us look at next question. Name the quadrant in which the point -5 comma -4 lies. Okay, so concentrate here. We know what are the quadrants. Yes, where do we start? This is first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant, right? And how do we plot a point? How do we plot a point? So -5 comma -4. Here the x is -5 and y is -4, correct? x is minus 5 and y is minus 4. So you start with x equals to minus 5 and you would find minus 5 on this side, isn't it? So this is minus 5 over here and y is negative 4. So negative 4, where would you find negative 4? Here it will be the negative 4. And then you know the process, right? So joining those two points, those two axes, you should get the point, right? So where does it lie? This point, where does this point lie? And you can see the question on the quiz. So go ahead and try it out. Go ahead and try it out. Where does that point lie? In which quadrant? Again, this is a time bound question. So quickly try to answer this. You should be able to see the question like this. Name the quadrant where this point lies. And do use paper pen because when I switch the pages, you won't be able to see my work, isn't it? So 56 of you have answered it and time's up. Let's see how many of you got it right. Okay, that's great. And 40 of you have got it right. Still few of you are struggling. Let's look at the board. Let's look at the board. Yes, everyone, come back to the Zoom screen. And here you can see how do we plot this point. So starting at negative 5 and you use this negative 4 on y-axis, this is the point. This point is minus 4 comma minus 5 comma minus 4, and which is the quadrant? It's the third quadrant. So this was the correct answer. All right, let us look at the next question. Okay, now this question is on surface area and volume. Okay, so when finding surface area, which type of units could be used, uh, could be on the end of your answer? Surface area. Yes. So when we are working on surface area, when we find the answer, what unit do we write? Like when we found the area, what unit do we write? Yes. So I'll just give you hints. I'm not going to tell you the answer, just hints. So there are three things. One is the perimeter, then it's the area, and then it's the volume. Okay. I'm going to tell you what units we use for all three of them. Okay. So for perimeter, the exponent, yes, the perimeter or the exponent, the degree or the exponent is always 1. Okay. So for perimeter, like example, it will be centimeter, meter, feet, inches, whatever it is, the degree is 1. And for area, the degree is 2. It is always squared. Okay, it's always squared. And for volume, the degree is 3. It's always cube, like centimeter cube, meter cube, whatever the units be now. Okay, for volume, it's cube. For area, it's squared. And for perimeter, it's just the degree is 1. All right, now try it out on the quiz. So there I have added the question on quiz. Go ahead and give it a try. Go ahead and give it a try. You should be able to see the question in this format. When finding surface area, which type of units could be on the end of your answer? So surface area, we are working on area. So what should be the degree? Just now we have discussed what should be the degree when we are working on area. For area, it's always what? Okay, I'm giving you so many hints and it's so easy to answer. Yes, another 5 seconds and we are going to end this quiz. This question, yes. Another 5 seconds. And time's up. Let's see how many of you got it right. So when finding area, the highest degree should be 2. It should be squared, isn't it? It should be squared. So 50 of you have got it right. Great. The correct answer to this was, so go back to the screen, to the Zoom screen, and you should be able to see squared. Here the degree is 2. So this is for area. We use this for surface area. Here the degree is 1. So this will be used for perimeter or for finding length or width or breadth, whatever, or height. Okay. And then this is cube over here. The highest degree is cube. So this is used for volume, correct? For volume. And we don't use these type of units for surface area, volume, or perimeter, right? So let us look at next question. Question number 6. A cube's length measures 15 inches. What is the surface area of the cube? Surface area of cube. So what is the formula for surface area of a cube? That's 6 length squared, right? Surface area of a cube, that's 6 length squared, and we are given the length equals to, or the side equals to 15 inches. Yes, everyone. So this is something you have to solve. Substitute the value of 15 in place of length, and then you have to solve this, right? Squared means what? Squared means multiply the number with itself. So this should be 16 times 15 times 15. And you have to do the calculations. The choices are there for you. And I'm going to add this question on the quiz link. So quickly do the calculation. Quickly do the calculation, and you can write out on the quiz. Okay. So if you have paper pen with you, you should be working it out, because when I switch the screen, you won't be able to see the work. So still, if you have not got those paper pen, please get it fast, because there are many questions where you will need to do some working. Some calculation is required, okay? Even though this is MCQ type question, but like one step or two steps, you have to do some work, okay, sometimes. And most of the questions are like, you can do it mentally, isn't it? So I guess you all must have done the calculation. And another 10 seconds, I'm going to give you another 10 seconds. What is the surface area of that cube? Okay, units you can check, all the units are same. So we can't rule out on the basis of units, right? Just the working, just the working. Let us see how many of you have answered it. 64 of you have answered it. And another 5 seconds, and I'm going to end this question. Another 5 seconds. Okay, time's up. Let's see how many of you got it right. Okay, 47 of you got it right. The correct answer to this was 1350 inches squared. Okay, so 225 is when you multiply 5 times 15 times 15, you will get 225, but you have to multiply with 6 also, right? You have to do the complete calculation. So again, join back to Zoom screen and just check. This was 6 times 225. When you multiply these two numbers, yes, you do get 225, but then you have to multiply this further, and that will give you 1350 inches squared. Okay, so I guess you all have understood this now. Let us move to next question number 7. So this one is easy. Just now we had discussed what, when solving volume, what type of units do we use? Okay, so what type of units is used for volume? Okay, once again, if you want to take a look, here is the information, like which unit do we use for volume? What is the unit for volume? Okay, so we saw that the highest degree should be 3. All right, with that information, I'm going to open the question on quiz. So everyone, quickly go to the quiz link and try this question. What is the unit when we are working on volume? What is the unit when we are working on volume? So if you go to the quiz link, you should be able to see a question in this format. When solving for volume, what type of units could be a part of your answer? Yes, students, this is very easy question. Just in few seconds, you should be able to get it right, isn't it? Few seconds. Let's see how many of you got it right. Ruchita, Shravani, Mayank, Rupali, Faiza, Swatantrata. Great. 51 of you have got it right. Wonderful. And the correct answer to this was centimeter cube. The highest degree is 3. Okay, the highest degree is 3 when we are working on volume. Let us look at the next question. Please join the Zoom board, the Zoom link back, switch to that page. So centimeter cube was the correct answer. All right, we move to next board. Again, this is a very easy question. Question number 8. Look at it. Question number 8. What is the volume when the length is given, width is given, and height is given? This is the easiest question again. Volume. What is the volume of a cuboid? This is a cuboid because width means the breadth, right? Length, breadth, and height. Okay, so what is the formula for volume? Volume of a cuboid is L into B into H. Yes, students, you are right. It is L into B into H. Simple multiplication. Just substitute the values. We have L equals to 2, B equals to 2, and H equals to 3. Substitute the values over here, and you have to solve it to get the answer. Correct? So there I am going to add this question on quiz. There you go. Try it out. You just need to substitute the values and multiply. Very good. I see 20 of you have already answered it. As I said earlier, you should be there with paper pen because I'm going to switch pages and then you won't be able to see the working, right? So there on the screen, you should be able to see question in this form. What is the volume? Length is given, the width is given, and height is given. Just simply need to multiply all of them together. 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2, and then whatever answer you get multiplied with 3. Yes. Volume equals to what? Is it 7, 12, 223 or 8? Another 5 seconds, and we will end this quiz, end this question. Quickly, everyone, write out. And let's see how many of you got it right. So here I'm going to end the time. And 70 of you have answered it. Let's end the question and check how many of you got it right. All done. This was a very simple question. Volume means you simply have to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4 and 4 times 3 is 12. So the correct answer was 12 and 57 of you have got it right. Very good, students. That means you are using your brain. That means you are working on the questions. Good. That's good. And just a minute. Okay. Yes, and we will move to the board now. Let us see the next question. Question number 9. Question number 9. The distance from the center of a circle to any point on the circle is called dash. Okay, now this question is from the topic circles. Okay, from the topic circles. Simple question, right? There is no need to explain anything, but still, just one hint I'll give. Yes, the distance from the center of a circle to any point on the circle. That means if you draw a circle, we want the distance from the center to any point on the circle. From the center to any point on the circle. What is this distance called as? Okay, with that, I'm going to add the question. So quickly move to the quiz page and try to answer. What is this length called as? What is that distance called as? Is it radius? Is it circumference? Is it diameter? Or is it the area? Okay, so already the timer has 25 seconds set on it. Quickly try it out. A very simple question. Ruchita, Shravani, Mayank, Rupali, Swatantrata, Shifa, Sakshi Maurya have got it right. 47 of you have got it right. Very good, students. Very good. You all are on the right track. The answer was radius. Okay. So this distance is called as radius, right? And then a few more things. Let us revise few more things. Like if we join any 2 points on the circle like this is called as a chord. Okay, it is called as a chord. And suppose if I join any 2 points on the circle where the chord is passing through the center, this one, let me name it. So let's say AB. So just check, AB is a chord but it is passing through the center, so it is called as diameter. And also remember, the longest chord is the diameter. Okay, you should remember these simple things. Fine. And let us move to next question. The distance across the circle through the center is called dash. Again, a very simple question. The distance across the circle through the center, okay, this distance, what is this called as? Again, 10 seconds and the question is open on quiz link. Quickly move to quiz link and try to answer it. Okay, the timer is running. Quickly try to answer it. You should be able to see question in this format. The distance across the circle through the center. Through the center. When it says through the center, you should be alert. What is it called as? So 5 seconds remaining. Yes, others try to answer it. Very few of you are trying to answer it. 65 of you have answered, and let's see how many of you got it right. Ruchita, Shravani, Mayank, Rupali, Sakshi Maurya, Shifa, Swatantrata. 55 of you have got it right. Still, many of you can still try. Those who are not able to join this link, again I'll give you the instructions. Just check, this is the link, joinmyquiz.com. You just have to google it. It will ask for a code. This is the code 2722272109. That's the code. You can write it on paper. In case if you lose connection and are kicked out of that link, of that quiz, then you can again join it. Okay, that's the code. Fine, let us move to the next question. Question number 11. Before that, what was the answer to this? This was diameter. When it says passing through the center, that is the diameter. All right. Now, another question. The distance all the way around the circle is called dash. Around the circle means if I draw a circle like this, what is the distance around this circle? What is this distance called as? The complete distance. What is it called as? So I won't give a lot of hints. The question is there on quiz. Quickly try it out. Look at the choices. Look at the choices. Radius. What do you mean by radius? This is the radius. So it's not the answer, right? What do you mean by diameter? This is the diameter. So that's also not the answer. Try to rule out the choices. If you are not able to, if you don't recollect, try to rule out the choices. Okay, and then try to give the correct answer. So again, the timer is running for less than 10 seconds remaining. What is it called as? What is the distance all the way round the circle? Around the circle. Yes, students, that is the perimeter, or for a circle, it is called as circumference. Circumference of the circle is the distance around the circle. And 41 of you have got it right. Very good. Let us move to next question. That was circumference. Okay, that was circumference around the circle. And when we say area, it is inside the circle. The complete area, the complete part inside the circle is area. Okay, let us move to next question. This is based on properties of circle. Okay, this is based on properties of circle. So we have seen what are the properties. Few properties is like if the arcs are equal, then the chords are equal. If the chords are equal, then the arcs are equal, right? One of the properties that perpendicular from the center, perpendicular, okay, I'm not able to write, just a minute. Perpendicular from the center, it bisects the chord, right? This is one of the property. It bisects the chord. This is one of the property. Then second property is that equal chords. The property that we are going to use here is this: equal chords are equidistant, are equidistant from the center. Equal chords are equidistant from the center. So if I give you an example, I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I'll give you an example. What is the meaning of this? It means if you have a circle and if you have two chords like this, okay, both the distances are same. Let's say this is 15 and this is also 15. So if both the chords are equal, they are equal chords, that means they are equidistant from the center. It means that if you find the perpendicular distance from the center, this will be same. That is, if this is 7, then this distance will also be 7. Both of these distances will be equal. Now look at the question. Both the chords are equal. So what is this x? Look at the property. The property says that the chords are equidistant from the center. The question is, what is the value of x? Yes, I guess that hint was enough. And I'm opening this question on quiz. So go ahead and try it out on the quiz. Everyone, the property goes like this: equal chords are equidistant from the center. That means the distance from the centers are equal. If one side is 10, if one distance is 10, what will be the other distance? As simple as that. You can look at the example. Yes, everyone, you should be there with paper pen so that when I switch pages like this, you won't be able to see the working. You won't be able to see the property there. Fine. So equal chords are equidistant from the centers. And another 5 seconds, I'm going to end the quiz. Another 5 seconds. Let's see how many of you have got it right, because already many of you have answered it. And the scores are Chita, Shravani, Rupali, Ganesh, very good. A new name. Anis, a new name. Great. 38 of you have got it right. Many of you have answered it as 18. 18 is already the length of the chords, right? We want the distance from the center. Distance from the centers are going to be equal. So if one distance is 10, of course, the other distance has to be 10, isn't it? So join back to the Zoom board. Join back to the Zoom board. Here the hint was given that both of these distances are equal, isn't it? So if this is 10, the x had to be 10. The distance from the center is equal. Okay. Now that's another question from quadrilaterals. Question number 13. A dash is a quadrilateral with two sets of parallel sides. So there should be two sets of parallel sides and four congruent angles or four equal angles. What is it? What is it? Two sets of parallel sides and four congruent sides, or all the four sides are equal. So just look at the choices. It is a very simple question. I'm going to quickly add it on quiz. There you go. Okay, and I continue giving more hints. So which of these choices have all the four sides equal? All the four sides equal. चारों sides equal होते हैं. Which is that quadrilateral? Is it a trapezoid? Is it a rhombus? Is it a parallelogram? Is it a rectangle? All the four sides are equal. What is this quadrilateral called as? Guess everyone. So if you look at the first choice, it's a trapezoid. That means it looks like this, isn't it? And only one pair of parallel side is equal. So this is not the answer. Check out among other three, which quadrilateral has all the sides equal? Yes. And another 5 seconds. I'm going to end this question. Another 2 seconds, everyone. And here I have ended it. Let's see how many of you have got it right. A quadrilateral with all the sides equal is a square or it is a rhombus. Okay, it will be a square or it will be a rhombus. Okay, I see many of you have got it confused on this. So let us look at the basics. Please join the quiz board. Please join the quiz board. Just check, how does a trapezoid look like? This is how a trapezoid looks like. Then a parallelogram is something like this. Okay, Let me draw it in another way. It should be like this. A parallelogram is like this, or it can be a rectangle also. And then a rectangle is like this. Means all the four sides are not equal. Opposite sides are equal, right? Here also opposite sides are equal. And then a rhombus. Yes, the rhombus is something like this. All the sides are equal. When it says all four sides are equal, it will be a square or it will be a rhombus. Okay, so this was the correct answer. That is rhombus. Fine. Let us look at next question. Again, this is a simple question. A quadrilateral has how many sides? How many sides? A quadrilateral. Quad means what? Yes. Quad means what? Like a triangle. A triangle has how many? It has three sides, isn't it? We are counting the sides. One, two, three. So how many sides does a quadrilateral have? Again, this is easy question. You can just quickly join the quiz board and try to answer it. I'll give you only 10 seconds. Strictly 10 seconds. Come on, everyone. Go ahead and give it a try. Go ahead and give it a try. Easiest question. How many sides does a quadrilateral have? Like a triangle has three, a pentagon has five sides. Quadrilateral has how many sides? Yes, students, another 5 seconds. Another 5 seconds, and I'm going to end it. And let's see how many of you got it right. 60 of you have answered it. So a quadrilateral, quad means four. Okay, quad means four. So a quadrilateral will have four sides. Four-sided closed figure is called as quadrilateral. Okay, let us move to the board and the next question. Next question is okay. In case if I want to name them, a triangle has three sides. So this is a triangle. A four sides is a quadrilateral. Then a six-sided figure is a hexagon. Okay, and five sides is a pentagon. Okay, we move to next question. Question number 15. Which shape is not an example of parallelogram? So there on the quiz, I'm going to add this question. Which of them is not a parallelogram? A parallelogram. How does a parallelogram look like? Yes, students. How does a parallelogram look like? Parallelogram means two set of parallel sides, isn't it? The pen is not working nicely. Sorry about that. So two set of parallel lines. Two set of parallel lines and opposite angles are equal. That is a parallelogram. A parallelogram can be a rectangle. It can be a square. It can be a rhombus, right? It can be a square. It can be a rhombus. This is like the parallelogram family. Fine. And let us see how many of you have got it right. 54. As soon as 60 participants answer, I'm going to end it. And yes, more than 60 of you have answered. Let's see how many of you got it right. Which shape is not an example of a parallelogram? Trapezoid is not a parallelogram, right? Because for a trapezoid, yes, 26 of you got it right. Trapezoid is not a parallelogram, and other all are parallelogram. A rhombus is a parallelogram, a square is a parallelogram, a rectangle is also a parallelogram. Okay, why is a trapezoid not a parallelogram? Because you can see here only two sides are parallel. These two sides are not parallel. Okay, so only one set of parallel lines. Therefore, this is not a parallelogram. Let us look at next question. This is on trigonometry. Everyone, write out. Yes. What is the ratio for sine? Sine. So remember this rhyme. What was the rhyme? So ka to a. Right? So ka to a. Correct. So O means opposite and H means hypotenuse. A means adjacent. So O for opposite, A for adjacent, correct, and H for hypotenuse, right? So I won't give you the answer for sine, but I'll tell you what does ka mean. So ka means C stands for cosine or cos. Fine. And that is equals to A over H. A over H. That means adjacent over hypotenuse. What is sine? You have to concentrate on so. OH. What does that mean? Quickly, I'm going to add this question on the board and you can try it out. Go ahead and give it a try. I see the screen has gone blank. Okay, I'll keep this screen on. Yes, everyone, look at it carefully. The question is, what is the ratio for sine? It's so. O stands for opposite, H stands for hypotenuse, A stands for adjacent. Okay, and the timer is on. Another, I guess, another 10 seconds. Quickly just check. Another 10 seconds. And the time's up. Let's see how many of you got it right. Very good. Shravani is on the top. And 27 of you got it right. Let us move to the board. Just check. So that means O over H. That is opposite over hypotenuse. The correct option was this, opposite over hypotenuse. Let us look at the next question. The next question is this. What is the ratio for tangent? Again, similar question. The rhyme goes like this. So ka to a. You have to concentrate on this. To a. What is the ratio? Quickly, everyone. The question is added on the quiz screen. It's added on the quiz screen. Go ahead and give it a try. Yes, students. Go ahead and give it a try. To O stands for opposite, A stands for adjacent, H stands for hypotenuse. Tangent, tan. What does tan mean? What is the ratio? OA, opposite, adjacent, H stands for hypotenuse. Yes, and I guess we need to resume share just a minute. Yes, and another 5 seconds. Another 5 seconds, and I'm going to end this question because I see all of you, most of you have gotten the answers. Yes, students, and there I'm going to end it. Tan. So tan is to a, O over A. O means opposite, A means adjacent. So that was opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent was the correct answer. All right, 34 of you have got it right. Very good. That means you are understanding and you are trying to apply. Okay, fine. This is by mistake. I have added it again. Just a minute. Okay, I'm going to end this. Yes. All right. So let us look at the next question. Next question on the board. The answer to this one was opposite over adjacent. That is opposite over adjacent. This was the correct option. Okay. Next is, what is the ratio of cosine? Again, a very, very simple question. Everyone, you should get it. So once again, I'll write the rhyme. It's so ka to a. So ka to a. You have to concentrate on cosine. So what is the ratio? I'm going to add this question quickly. Yes, everyone, go ahead and try it out. Go ahead and try it out. So ka to a. What is the ratio of cosine? Cosine is C. So concentrate on the center part. Ka. A over H. What does A over H mean? What does A over H mean? So ka to a. And let's see how many of you have given the answers. 49, 50 of you have answered. Quickly, others. Another 7 seconds to go. And time's up. Let's see how many of you got it right. Still, Shravani is on top. Others, come on, it's a challenge to you. Try to beat her. So just check. 31 of you have got it right. Very good. Let us move back to the board. Please join back Zoom board. And we are looking at next question. So this one was ka, that is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent over hypotenuse was the correct answer. Okay, next one. What is the correct ratio? Okay, now here you need to concentrate on this diagram. It says, what is tan A? What is tan A? Okay, students, tan A. Now, tan we know tan is TOA, that is opposite over adjacent. Okay, opposite over adjacent. And look at A. So, if you concentrate on this triangle, here you can see this is A. So, for A, what is opposite? What is opposite? And what is adjacent? So, if I draw a triangle, okay, just I'm giving you another hint. If I draw a triangle and I name this as A, so adjacent is the side, this is the hypotenuse, right, which is opposite to 90-degree. This is called as the hypotenuse, right? And one which is opposite to angle A, this is called as the opposite. And the side which is not opposite and not hypotenuse is the adjacent, isn't it? Now try to get the correct ratio. Opposite over adjacent, which numbers would you put here? Okay, I think that much hint is enough. And the question is added on the board, on the quiz board. So go ahead and try it out. Go ahead and try it out. It is opposite over adjacent. So tan equals to opposite over adjacent. Which is the opposite side and which is the adjacent side? You just need to place the numbers. No need to solve. You just need to give the correct fraction. Okay, everyone, another, okay, the timer has already started and it is taking another few seconds. Yes, and let us see how many of you have answered it. 63, more than 63 people have answered it. Let's look at the correct answer. It was opposite over adjacent, and Shavani is still on top. Shailesh is a new name coming up. Okay, 23 of you have got it right. You need to practice more, students. Practice more on this topic. Okay. So after the class, make it sure that you're practicing these type of questions. We are back on the Zoom screen now. So here you can check opposite over adjacent. Opposite is the side which is straight in front of A. This is 16. So here on top goes 16 over adjacent. Adjacent is the neighbor, this side, not the hypotenuse. This is the adjacent. So 16 over 12 was the correct answer. 16 over 12. Okay, I hope you have got this one. We move to next question. Again, it's on trigonometry. State or what is the correct ratio? This time it's cos x. Okay, so you need to concentrate on x. You need to concentrate on x. And what is the rhyme? It's so ka toa. It's so ka toa. You need to concentrate on ka, adjacent over hypotenuse. So cos of x is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. What is the adjacent side? Okay, in front of x is the opposite. So if you rule out the opposite, the other one is the adjacent, and you know 10 is the hypotenuse. The one which is right in front of x in 90-degree, the side which is opposite to 90-degree is hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse. What is the answer? I'm going to add this on the quiz board. Quickly go ahead and try it out. Everyone, go ahead and try it out. You can see the question on the quiz link, but here again I have added this question for those who are still not able to get it. You need to concentrate on ka. So ka toa. You need to concentrate on ka. It's adjacent upon hypotenuse. Which is the adjacent side and which is the hypotenuse? Okay, so the side which is in front of 90-degree, that is hypotenuse. And this is adjacent. Correct? So adjacent over hypotenuse. What will be the answer? And the timer is ticking. It's time's up. Let's see how many of you got it right. Wonderful. Shravani is still on top. Rupali Swatantrata, you can beat her still. Try to give the answer as fast as possible, the kids, so that you can be on first. Okay, so 36 of you have got it right. Good, you all are improving. You need to practice more on trigonometry, students. Okay, so let's look at the Zoom board. Everyone, back to Zoom board. Just check this answer. How to get this answer? It was opposite. It was adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is the side which is not hypotenuse and not opposite. Okay, this is opposite side. So adjacent was 8 over the hypotenuse is 10. So 8 over 10 was the answer. 8 over 10. Okay, you don't have to, the options, they don't simplify it. So you just have to select the correct one. 8 over 10. This was the correct answer. Okay, everyone. We move to another question. We have two more questions remaining. Okay, now this is the easiest question. Nothing on this earth can be more easy than this. What type of triangle is the context of our study of trigonometry? What type of triangle do we use for trigonometry? Can we use an isosceles triangle for trigonometry? For studying trigonometry, can we use a scalene triangle? Yes. Think over it, and I'm going to add this question on the quiz. Everyone, go ahead and try it out. Go ahead and try it out. This is super easy. Nothing can be more easy than this. For trigonometry, which type of triangle do we study? Is it a right triangle? Is it an isosceles triangle? Is it a scalene or is it an acute triangle? Everyone, quickly try it out. I think the timer is running for this one as well. And you will be having another 5 seconds. Okay, only 5 more seconds, students. Which type of triangle do we use to study trigonometry? Okay, and I have ended the question. Let's see how many of you got it right. Yes, I guess all of you must have got it right because this was a very easy question. Okay, Shravani, Rupali, Swatantrata, Anis, Kushi, DJ Sabri, Shailesh. Okay, some of you have selected still isosceles scalene. Do practice more on trigonometry, students. Okay, because this was another easy question. We move back to Zoom screen. Everyone, back to the Zoom screen. What type of triangle? Remember, students, always for trigonometry, for the study of trigonometry, we use only strictly right triangle. Okay, we use right triangles only. Fine. And yes, even if you have got it wrong, no worries. Do try to learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat the same mistake. The answer to this was right triangle. And then the last question, what is tan 45? What is tan 45 degrees? I know those who have practiced this chapter, you will be able to give this answer within 2 seconds. What is the value of tan 45? Okay, and let's see how many of you can answer it. So there on the quiz board, the question is ready. Try to answer it. What is the value of tan 45? What is the value of tan 45? This is the easiest question. Yes, I guess all of you again should get it right. Okay, another 5 seconds, students. Another 5 seconds, and I'm going to end it. Okay, and let's see how many of you got it right. Tan 45 is equals to 1. Tan 45 is equals to 1. Never forget this. Tan 45 is equals to 1. No worries. Try to practice more. No worries at all. And this, with this question, the quiz ends. Let's see uh, how many of you got it right or what was the result. Yes, the overall result. Okay, let us see. Let us look at the top 10 participants. Okay, just a minute. Yes, so the first one, the top person is Shravani, second is Rupali Gupta from Khairnagar School, and third is Swatantrata. Great. Okay, and that's all. Thank you everyone for joining, and do practice more on trigonometry because we will be doing question number 1A. Again, that is also a question which is based on MCQ type. One mark questions are there, right? And those questions you should be able to answer within 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, so do practice. Thank you for joining everyone. I hope you had a wonderful time. I really enjoyed working with you all. Thank you.